start with our feet in cobbler. And when you start in cobbler first thing in the morning, it's really good to have a blanket to sit on, just to give the pelvis the ability to hinge forward. Now, your legs aren't going to open as wide as they typically would after like doing it at the end of class. So be mindful of that. And it's okay to support with blocks or blankets, okay? So it could potentially look like this, or you could use pillows off your sofa if you're at home. And there's something really nice and opening about the whole area of the body here first thing in the morning, opening the intestinal tract and allowing the body to begin to open. So I'm going to remove the blocks. I just wanted to show you what that looked like. We're going to go ahead and draw that belly button back, lift up, feel that tailbone slide down, shoulders back, support yourself. Lift up long through the crown. And I'd like everybody to do a little bit of chin out, chin back. And I call this the chicken just because, but it's really getting a sense of where our cell phone neck is. And then end with your ears over your shoulders. Now, I have my feet tucked in kind of tight to the groin. It can also be further out. Try sliding your feet further out. There, is that better?
This is just a really tough position for me.
I know, but this is hard for a lot of people. So play with that a little bit. Is it easier with your legs out, feet out or in? And then again, this is an opportunity to grow tall and notice if you can let the thinking mind go. Close your eyes. Allow those ears to come back over your shoulders. Bring those shoulders up to your ears. Roll them back and down. Hands just rest gently on your ankles or on your shins, wherever you can reach. And then as the body begins to open, soften into this. Now, as you soften into this, it's a softening through the hips versus a softening through the core. So we're going to continue to draw that belly button up and back, lengthening through the crown, softening out of the shoulders. Now let's focus on the breath. Find your exhale. Notice that when you inhale, you take a nice draw breath in, the belly expands. And as you exhale, the belly button draws back to the spine, contracts. This will help expel the air out of your lungs. So inhale, expand. Exhale, contract. Inhale, back off your edge. Exhale, soften into the hips. Also important here that if your knees begin to talk to you, slide your feet away from the groin. So open those knees up if you need to. And if this is unavailable to you, that's okay. Easy pose is all right. But just notice how there's an opening that begins to happen from under the shoulders down to the hips. It creates this nice open cavity for all of our internal organs to begin to find their true home, breathing into it. Notice what's happening in the jaw. Is the jaw tightening up? Mine is. Maybe drop the teeth. Let that jaw wiggle side to side a little bit. Remembering to breathe. So I'm still here. Let's have 5 long breaths. Find your own rhythm here. Heat might begin to build right off the bat, and that's okay. One more breath. You're almost there. And now leaning into the right shoulder, heading into circles. So start small. Start small here. Let the head rest on top of the spine. So the neck is actually not rolling, only the lower back. So it's a really interesting play of drawing that belly button to the spine, feeling that tailbone roll under. You're going to get a little bit of rocking sensation. If this were my pelvis, there's a little bit of rocking happening. You're going to feel it maybe down your quads, definitely through your hips, sometimes in the knees. Smile, soften that jaw, open hips, open jaws. Nicely done. Sometimes if you feel yourself get stuck in these circles, pause at the stuckness, back out of it, go into it, back out of it, go into it, and then continue the circles. So just because I'm saying circle around, if your body's saying no circles, honor your body. Honor your body. Now we're going to pause. Wherever you're at, pause and head the other direction. So this is a really pretty small movement, mostly because our knees are open. So when we're in easy pose, we have a tendency to be able to circle a little bigger. But if you're super open in the hips, you can circle wider, but certainly only if it's available to you. Seems to be a little unavailable to me today. I'm going with those little circles. Find your breath. Soften your face. If you're thinking about it, what would it feel like to focus on your breath? Two more. There you go. And then coming to center. So wherever you're at, find your way to center. Drop nice and tall. My shoulders are wanting to creep to my ears, lengthen through the crown. Now leading with the heart, head straight forward. We're going to be here for several long, deep breaths. So find that inhale, find that exhale. Let the hips open in their own time. Feel the ability to soften with the exhale. So as I say soften, a lot of times we want to lose it kind of through the center, but we're still being supported by that core strength of the belly button back to the spine. The tailbone sliding down the back. Growing long in the crown. And as you move forward, make sure you're still drawing those ears over your shoulders, but the shoulders down your back. Leading with your heart. Breathing into it. So if the mind is wanting something to do, have it follow your breath. We're going to go 5 more long, deep breaths. If you need something else to do, tighten the back of your throat, inviting Ujjayi breath into your practice. Creating space through the center of the body. 3 more breaths. Two more. And last one, drawing straight up. Nicely done. Bring those knees in. Bring them in. Walk those feet out just a little bit. And then maybe just rock them side to side. Give a little space if you want to shake them out. Shake the knees. Let the body kind of come back into its normal space. And then remaining on your blanket, come to the edge of it and roll forward. Now, sitting in easy pose, begin to stir the pot. Oh, stirring the pot this morning. So oftentimes we are not in control of the paddle that's stirring our pot. So find how, when you're in your center, that moving from the center gives us the power. 3 more circles. Find your breath. 2 more. Last one. And reverse it. Unwind it. Notice how the circles are opening up. They're becoming larger. The belly button is still supporting. And if it's not, invite it back into play. Nicely done. 2 more. And last one. Coming to stillness right in the center. Hands onto the shoulders. And begin twisting here. So this is a little bit quicker than the stirring. There we go. So find your breath. Find your rhythm. When you begin to find the rhythm with the twisting in the breath, you drop right in. It becomes effortless. It's as if you're turning around the support of the spine, staying with your breath. Remembering that if your shoulders are inaccessible, you can always push your hands out if you want. Staying with it. 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming back to center. Woo. Hands come down, making the peace sign, anchoring into the earth, dropping out of your shoulders, going long in the crown. Feel the energy move through the body. Feel yourself sink back into your sit bones. Anchoring into the earth. Touching the first and second finger of each hand to the earth, thus helps ground you down. Anchoring you down into the earth. Placing the palm of the right hand on the earth, inhaling that left hand up and over, reaching it up and over. Nice long inhale. Exhaling it out. Feel that open. All the way from the hip to the fingertips. And I'm catching myself leaning, so what would it feel like to not lean on your hand? Inhaling back up, switching sides. Left hand comes to the earth. Right hand reaches up and over. Anchoring down. So when we start to the right side, by compressing down through that right side, it creates a massage through the ascending colon, which is the beginning of our elimination, of the large elimination section of our body. So then when we glide over and go to the left, it's the descending colon. So we begin to create movement through our digestive system. So today's class is all about processing our life. Here we go. We're going to move with it. 2 more breaths here. Last one. And up we go, exhaling over. Reaching through, long exhale, inhaling up. Exhaling over. Inhaling up. Exhaling over. Inhaling up. Exhaling over. Follow your rhythm. As if we're a tree blowing in the wind. It's a little calmer today, so we're creating our own breeze. 2 more, each side. So this is 1. Breathe into it. Inhaling up. This is still 1. Back to the other side. Inhaling up. Exhaling over. Beautiful. Inhaling up. Exhaling over. Nicely done. Coming back to center. Exhaling the hands down. Nicely done. So we're going to do a couple of things here on the floor yet that we'll then do in standing. So taking a look at your legs. I have my right foot underneath my left one. This might be your leg posture today. If you have the space to pull that bottom leg under and cross the right leg over it, coming into a deep cross-legged, and then grabbing a strap. If you don't have a strap or you need one, at home a belt or a tie will work nicely. Taking your strap of the bottom leg, so my right leg is the bottom leg, so I'm going to put my strap in my right arm. I'm going to drop it behind my head and then reach for it with the left one. And then as I'm working for it, I'm going to work to sit down into both hips, which is the trick for me. Breathe into it. Walk your hands together. Now, if you find that you're leaning forward like this, see if you can't draw up. Sit up nice and tall. Go long in your crown. Breathe into it. Find your breath. Lots of heat building for me. This is about as pretzel-y as I get. Find your breath. Stay with it. My mind is working me over this morning, and so I'm going to bring my attention to my breath. I'm going to count them out. Breathe in 1, breathe out 1. Gives my thinking mind something to do. Three more breaths. And release the top hand, letting that belt drop down to the bottom hand. Letting that belt rest over here. Crossing the hand over the knee and twisting into it, looking over that shoulder. So my left leg is on top. I'm twisting towards the top leg, looking over the shoulder. Breathing into it. Smiling, because sometimes when it's deeply challenging, I have a tendency to knit my eyebrows together. So wiggle that face out. We don't want to create any lines. There we go. 2 more breaths. Last one. And releasing back to center. Uncrossing those legs again. Wow, what's up with these deep knee things I got going on today? Shake it out. And then, let's see. So right leg was on bottom. Now we're going to switch it. So whatever leg you had on bottom, put the other one on top. Remember, you can do this from easy pose. You don't have to cross the knees. Just because I am doesn't mean you have to. So picking up that strap with the arm of the bottom leg, dropping it behind you, grabbing it with the opposite hand, sinking into. So as soon as my hands are as far as they can go and I can grow up nice and tall, the work becomes about engaging the belly button and sinking into the hips. Breathing into it. Finding your breath. So every now and then it's really good for the body and the thinking mind to do something that's super challenging. This is super challenging for me. So finding that breath, counting the inhale, counting the exhale. 5 more. 4 more. Smiling, unknitting the eyebrows, wiggling around, wiggle that face around. We're almost there. 1 more breath for good measure. Releasing that top hand all the way down. Let that bottom hand release. Taking a hold of that top hand, twisting towards the top leg, bringing it around, looking over that shoulders. Seeing where you've been. Sometimes it's okay to notice where you've come from, but it's important, it's very important to continue to see where you are and where you are going. Oftentimes we get stuck in the past and it's over. So stepping into the present, taking a nice deep breath in, exhaling, coming back to center, right into the present. Beautifully done. Releasing those legs. Coming off your blanket if you're still on it, shaking them out. Oh, thank goodness. Shake those legs out. Wow, that was some good heat building work. Wiggle around, and then we're going to slide around. We're going to do 3 cat-cows and then come right up to standing. So find your tabletop. Drop into cow. Nice deep inhale in. Exhaling up into cat. Inhaling down. Exhaling up. Inhaling down, last one. Just to remind the body it moves all directions. Exhaling up. Curling those toes under, walking the hands back to the knees, and then standing yourself up onto your feet. Okay? Left hand to the left knee, walking yourself up, all the way up, finding full mountain. Shake everything out. Give your body some movement. Man, I'm about to walk to the middle of the room on my mat. That's such an interesting phenomenon, how that happens. So here we are, finding, first we're going to do, keep your strap handy. First we're going to do the lower body. So we're going to go right into balance this morning. So the way this is going to work is you're going to find something to look at, focus in on it. Establish a strong mountain pose. And we'll start with the right leg since it's typically our dominant leg. We're going to pour into the right foot and soften that right knee. Just soften it. Let the left knee come up and we're going to cross it over. Okay? Now, some people are going to be able to wrap their foot around behind their leg. I cannot do that. But I'm going to cross my leg. I'm going to imagine my foot wrapping, and this is the start right here. So this is sliding that tailbone down, sinking down, so you can cross that knee right here. 3 more breaths. And then come out of it. So I'm talking and wiggling all over at the same time. This is easier to do when you get really still in the mind. And if those hips need some space, open them in whatever way they need. Likewise with the knees and the ankles. Coming back into mountain pose. Softening into the knees, pouring into the left foot. So I'm just creating a little neural pathway for you so you know what you're going to do when we go into this full balance. So your balance might be right here. And if you're ready for the next level, cross your knee. If you're ready for level 3, hook your foot behind your ankle. Don't have to do it though. I'm going to work with my knee crossed. Find your breath. Lock in on that drishti. Nicely done. Inhaling, coming up, stepping out of it. Circle those hips. Give yourself some space. Give yourself some movement. Oftentimes when we're in a yoga class, we're kind of guided to just get into a posture, be really still, but the body sometimes needs to move. If you ever watch little kids, they're moving all the time. So now we're going to do the arms without the legs. So coming into full mountain, we had the right leg first, so we'll start with the right arm, bringing that arm behind you, dropping that strap where the left hand can reach it. And so what this looks like is this, okay? And then you can walk your hands together. Some of you who are super open in the shoulders might be able to work without a strap, and you might be able to hook your palms together. If you can do that, feel free to do that. That's awesome. 3 more breaths. Letting go of that top hand, dropping it down to the other hand, releasing it down all the way. So now we have the strap in our left hand ready to go, bringing it right up overhead, dropping it behind you, or it's my left hand. For some of you, it might just be the other hand. I do right to left because that's the way we're going to do the feet. And so your standing foot is going to be your starting top arm. Breathing into this, my hands are now working towards each other. So as we open the hips and the hamstrings, we're opening the shoulders and the triceps. It's interesting how the body mirrors itself. 2 more breaths. And last one. And release it down. All right, so take a few steps, wiggle out, move around a little bit, move the body, we're warm. We're going to actually put this all together. So strap into your right hand. Let's establish your legs first and then the arms. So pour into your right foot, soften the knees, engage that core, so belly button back, tailbone down. Lift through that left foot. That might be level 1, might be level 2. Bring that right arm up and over. Now I'm going to grow quiet, so I'm still here, but find your breath. Find your drishti. Five more breaths. Count them out. Releasing the arms first, dropping that top hand, and then the legs, step wide. Feel the burn in that hip, feel the burn in the quad. That means you're working, building new pathways of muscle. Swing those hips side to side, open it up. Remember, work at your level. Just because we're holding things for about 10 breaths, if you can hold it for 3 breaths, that's awesome. All right, strap is in the other hand now. Pouring in, finding your mountain, engaging that belly button to the spine, dropping down in the knees, pouring into the left foot. Cross that right knee. Left hand up and over. Find your drishti. And I'm going to grow quiet. 5 more breaths. Two more, we're almost there. And last one, release it out. Step it wide. Oh, big circles here. Big circles in the hips. Wow, good work, everybody. Those are good balance poses. So balance is really important. And it's always interesting because if you're watching me and I'm moving all over the place, you know my head's going a million miles an hour. It's all about emptying the mind and focusing in on one point. So coming back into mountain, we're done with the strap for this moment. Finding those feet connecting to the earth, inhaling your hands up nice and tall. And then exhaling through the right hip, headed into half moon. Open that side body. Feel that hip open. Breathe into it. Nowhere to go. Nothing to do. Two more breaths. Inhaling, coming up. Exhaling the other direction. There it is. Nice and strong, as if you're going to touch your hip to the wall. Yet stay anchored in both feet. Three more breaths. Last one. Inhaling, coming up. Exhaling, swan dive forward. Straight forward. Sweep the floor and come right back up. Inhaling up. Exhaling, swan dive forward. So almost as if all this energy from being in standing poses, from being in those static one-legged holds, we're just clearing out the auric field, moving up and down, feeling that core help us, feeling that belly button engage as we go forward, engage as we come back up. Breathing into it. 4 more. We've got 2 more to go, all the way through. We'll call this one 2. And this is the last one, headed all the way through, all the way down. All the way back up. Exhaling those arms down beside you. Fingers facing the floor. Fingers wide open, hands facing front, dropping out of your shoulders, closing your eyes, feeling of the power of mountain. The power and strength of standing on one foot and then the other foot, and then standing deeply into both feet. Strong like a mountain. Drawing those ears back over your shoulders, the shoulders down, the belly button back and up. Tailbone down, knees are soft. All 4 points of the foot are connecting to the earth as your roots grow deep, 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 deep down into the earth. Powerful. So wherever you are on your mat, if you come to the center of the mat the long way, we're going to open the feet wide. So as wide as if you were going to take your leg off and lay it down, it would fit between your feet. And then spinning the right foot open, we're going to sink down into warrior 2. So no arms yet. Sink into this. Put your hands right here so that you don't have to worry about your shoulders hurting. We can work into the legs a little bit. We're going to sink forward, Come out. Sink forward. Notice that your knee is traveling towards your little toe. Now, be mindful that if you have knee or hip injuries that you honor that. But we're coming up and back. So we're actually working the muscles. A lot of time we'll go to static hold, just not yet. Warm the muscles. Where's your tailbone? Is it pointing at the floor? Where's your belly button? Is it drawn in? Is this something you want to invite the pelvic floor to participate in? Play with that a little bit. See if engaging that pelvic floor halfway up is supported. 2 more movements, and then we're going to go to static hold. 1 more. Feel it. My legs beginning to really warm up. Sink down into it. Inhale, bring the hands into it. Warrior 2. Find the power of the posture holding you. Find your breath. Now slide across the body, anchor that elbow to the knee, so really sink into that knee. Bring that arm all the way up and over. And it doesn't matter where you look. It matters that you're supported from the center. Your arm is lengthening as far as it can go. So the work here is really between the fingertip of the top hand and the outside edge of the lower foot. That's where you're feeling the opening. The strength is coming from that lower leg, the bent knee. Spin that heart open. Nicely done. Inhaling, lifting yourself right back up, coming out of it, exhaling the hands down, spinning around, other side. So same thing here, hands right into your hips so that you can feel that hip working. Sink forward, sink back. Watch your knee travel to the little toe. Feel the work right here through the quadriceps, at the top of your leg. Sinking down. Drawing up, pull that belly button in. It's easy to forget the core in this because you start watching everything, other things. Make sure that that foot is far enough out that when you sink into it, the knee's coming over the ankle but not passing the ankle. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. Sink right all the way down into it. Inhale those hands open. Reach, 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 reach. Sink, sink, sink. Sink a little lower in that knee. Make sure you're not passing that knee in front of your ankle. Double check it. If you are, wiggle those toes forward. There you go. Good job. Breathing into it. Now slide across the body. Reach it. Anchor that elbow down to the knee. Reach that hand all the way up. Nicely done. Now remember, the work here is from that tip of your fingers on the top hand to the outside edge of that back foot, sinking into that knee is the power point of holding the posture. Find your breath. Open that heart. Little teeny bit of twisting happening here. Find your breath. So from here, in 3 more breaths, we're going to cartwheel down and step back into downward facing dog. It'll be the first dog of the day. 2 more breaths. Last one, engage that core, spin around, step back into dog. So, first dog of the day. So if dog's not with you, just go to tabletop. We're only doing this one dog, so give it your full expression, find your breath. Feel that heart travel to the knees. Let go of your head. Feel all points of your hands anchor into the mat. Four more breaths. You can do it. We're almost there. 3 more. 2 more. And last one. Headed down into tabletop. So feel those knees come down. Lengthen those feet out. Hands are underneath your shoulders. Elbows, eyes of the elbows facing each other. Belly button to the spine. Inhale, drop down into cow. Exhale, up into cat. Inhale down. Exhale out. Find your rhythm. We're going to stay with this movement for quite a few breaths. Let's do 10. Feel the suppleness of the spine. Feel how yummy movement feels. So cow is when you drop your belly button to the floor. Take a nice deep inhale in. Cat is when you slide that tailbone down. Arch the back up. So drop the head down. You can almost get the sensation of that spine moving in a wave, opening up. Child's pose is always available if you need a break. We're halfway there. So 5 more. And if you're moving a little faster than I am, that's okay. You might get there before I do. If you're moving slower, it's no problem. We'll wait. Four more. Three more. Two more. Last one, take it all the way through. Coming into full expression of tabletop right here. Lengthen through the crown, lengthen through the tail. Bring that belly button up. Imagine, here I come, putting my hands around your waist. Slide that tailbone down, draw that belly button up. I'm just touching your belly, saying, lift up here. Bring that waist in. Feel the power. Soften everything you don't need to hold this posture, which for me are my glutes. I have a tendency to hang on in my rear end. I don't know what I plan to accomplish by doing that, but apparently my mind thinks it's going to help. So soften out. Hang on through the core. Keep breathing. Nicely done. Draw those heels together, open the knees wide, and sink back into child's pose. However far back is for you. If you can lay yourself flat, do that. Let it be what it is in your body. So stay here in child's pose as long as you need to. But when you're ready, find your way to lying on your back with your feet in standing. We're going to do some core work today. You know how I love that core work. So roll yourself back. I really like people to get the sense of that flat part of the bottom, which is your sacrum. Roll it in and then roll down from there. And a lot of times I have movement in the spine when I do that. We're going to cross the left leg over the right knee, starting right here. So figure 4, I think you guys can see me. Hands behind your head, lifting your shoulders up off the floor. So this is not about pulling through the head, it's just about supporting the head. So if you don't want the support, you can always put your hands down the side here. Where shoulders are off the floor, we're just hanging out here. Belly button is working down and up. Let go of what you don't need. So if you're clenching through your behind, soften it. And sometimes we don't even know we're doing it. Find your breath. Just a static hold here for 3 more breaths. 2 more. Last one. Now we're going to take the right elbow to the left knee without moving the left knee. So it's just the direction we're going. We're going to go up and back. This is very slow. Exhaling up. Inhaling back. Exhaling up. Inhaling back. Now keep the sacrum flat on the floor, the back of the bottom. Back. Exhaling up. Inhaling back. We're going to do 2 more. Exhaling up. Inhaling back. And last one, exhaling up. Inhaling back. Coming all the way down onto the floor. Releasing those hands between the legs here. Circling them around. Drawing that knee up of the right leg. Reverse pigeon. I feel this in my left leg IT band. So that's right here on the outside of the leg. And my hamstrings. Breathing into it. So at this point, we haven't deepened this posture. We're just allowing the hips to remember what it feels like to be into a deep hip opener. So now we're going to flex that right foot and lift that leg straight. Working through the heel. So a lot going on here. We're opening the back of the right leg, the hip of the left leg, breathing into it. We're also doing a forward fold. Find your breath. Almost there. 2 more breaths. Give your full expression of this nice deep pigeon pose, reverse pigeon. And release that foot down, lowering that down, lengthening through that left leg straight up. Bring it straight up. Bend the knee down and take a hold of the ball of your foot. Now this might be it. This might be all you do here. If you have the space, kick through and open that hip up. Open it up. You can see I don't have a lot of space for opening my leg, but the hip wants to open, so I'm gonna let it. I got a little bit of quivering happening, breathing into it. And release that foot down and release it all the way down. Good job. Point that toe, flex it. Bring the left foot to standing, cross the right knee. Here we go. We're on the other side now. So feel that bony part of the bottom of the back, the sacrum. Bring the hands behind the head, lift the shoulders up, drop the head back on the hands. Static hold here. Breathe into it. Find your breath. Feel the power of the center of the body. Feel the strength. Nicely done. Keeping that right knee open. We're going to inhale, exhale, left elbow towards the right knee. Inhale back. Exhale forward. Inhale back. Exhale forward. Inhale back. Exhale forward. Remember that belly button is going to the floor. It's not going to the ceiling. Creates a different muscle. We want a concave muscle. We want it to go down towards our spine, back towards our spine. 5 more. You can do it. We're halfway there. 3 more. 2 more. And last one. Coming back to center. Exhaling, going down, releasing the hands. Bringing the hands through the legs. Hooking them behind that left leg. Opening that right knee. Reverse pigeon. Halfway into reverse pigeon here. Just let the body get used to all the muscles and tendons opening. So, a lot of fascial movement in this posture right here. Sometimes I notice that I feel like I have something wrapped around my leg and then all of a sudden it will open and that sensation will leave. That's just the fascial tissue opening, expanding, giving space. So begin to flex that left foot and lengthen through the heels, straightening it out, straighten that leg out, draw it in. Find your breath. Notice how this side is different from the other side. Left side and right side often are different. Three more breaths. Last one. Softening out on the exhale. Bringing that left foot down to standing. Bringing that right foot in. Taking a hold of that big toe. Let that knee drop into the armpit. Opening it up. I always use my left hand to just keep my left hip down. And then kick through that heel if you have the space to open it. As you can see, my legs have no space at all. They are super tight in the hamstrings, and that's okay. That's real life right there. Breathe into it. Do your lengthening through the leg. You might be able to completely straighten your leg out. People who have super open hamstrings can straighten their heel all the way out to a straight leg. Breathe into it. And release it down. Just lengthen it out just to give it a little space and then bring it to standing to meet the left foot. Walk those feet in. We have one more deep bridge. So hands come down beside you. Take a nice deep inhale in. Drop that belly button to the floor. Press through the feet and lift up into bridge. There it is. Find your breath. If you want to hook your hands underneath your body and that's available to you, please do so. Otherwise, just feel the power of bridge supporting you. Find your breath. On the next inhale, take consideration and exhale, lifting a little bit deeper into bridge. Challenge your edge. Challenge your edge, stay with it. Almost there. 2 more breaths. And then as you're ready, begin to roll down 1 vertebrae at a time, lengthening through the right leg, through the left leg, and do 1 quick check-in. Do I need anything else? If not, take a nice deep inhale in, let it out with a deep breath. And soften in to the last posture of the day. Shavasana. The mind slips away. It's not here, it's not there. Gently begin to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Draw those knees into your chest and gently begin to rock side to side. Just stimulating the back, the adrenals, giving yourself a little back massage, and then rolling to your right side, taking a second and then pressing up. Coming back into easy pose. Hands to your heart. We'll end with one Om. Deep breath in, exhale it out. Deep breath in and Om. Om Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Peace in your heart, peace in your mind. Namaste.